Sanji, y'all, welcome. Welcome. It's Tuesday night. There's a le bon temps roulé. We are coming towards the end of this year, which I got to say has been better than the last couple. But welcome Tuesday night. I'm Leanne. This is Scotch on the Bayou. We are live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we are going to talk about some surprising drams for this year. And you know, there's a lot of bottles on my desk here. We're gonna work through most. I picked out actually seven. Won't be drinking them all, but we'll talk about them. And I want to hear from you all on what your favorite drams were, or things that just kind of went, wow, just gave you a little pause there. So, first of all, let's welcome everybody in Loch Ness. Great to see you, friend. Thanks for being here. And Trooper 2. Yes, it's gonna be chilly on the bayou. I think I think I jinxed us by kind of been bragging that not really bragging because I wanted some cool weather, but 70s and 80s in December was a bit ridiculous. And now I'm afraid I'm really gonna be getting it because it's gonna get down in the teens down here, and we don't do that cold. Sorry, y'all can keep that way up north. We don't do that cold. As long as it stays dry and none of the ice stuff that we had last year, I'll be cool. But yeah, definitely going to get a little chilly. So everybody's wrapping pipes, and Mark's taking care of the camp tomorrow because it's actually above the ground, so it's got a crawl space up under it. So he's going to have to go and drain the pipes and take care of all that because we don't do freezes well down here at all. Hey, Andrew, good to see you, friend. Check your email. Big news to share with you today. And excited about a special Sunday uh, live that we're going to be doing coming up. And I'll tell you all more about that in a little bit. And Barter, hey. Hey, Barter, good to see you. I'm from North Carolina, one of my favorite places. I kind of like the Avett brothers from Concord. And yeah, good to see you here. And my bud, talk about cold. Oh, Daniel, I send you some of our warmth, friend. He's way in Western New York, or yeah, or upstate New York. He's cold. Hey, Mike, great to see you here. Thanks for being here, and Mo's here too. Thanks, Molasses, for being here. Um, gonna just really excited. To talk about some of these things, and looking at recapping the year. And it's this time to kind of reflect. And first, I want to say thanks for being here because everybody's busy the week before Christmas, right? I mean, everybody's trying to get that last minute thing done. And so it's going to be fun just to, we'll take our little hour on a Tuesday night to just kind of visit and say hey and talk about some of these drams that gave you a minute. um, but the year has been great. The channel has really taken off. We've done some super things this year, and I want to talk more later about some of those victories. Um, but one of the biggest milestones was getting over 1,000, and to get the watch hours to where it was monetized, which was fantastic. And it was a true community effort between Shayla and the Whiskey Central and Roy and Jason Mash Drum. I mean, all of these channels, Scotch for Dummies, everybody kind of saying, hey, go look at that crazy woman from the South, go check her channel out. And so we hit those milestones, and it was a really big deal. Um, we're 6 subscribers away from 1,200. 6. All I want for Christmas is 1,200. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please, please do so. If you know someone who would really kind of dig a chill Tuesday night and some educational, kind of relaxed, non-pretentious videos about Scotch whiskey, shoot them my information. I'd love for them to come and be part of how much fun that we do have. Yeah, so 6 away from 1,200. So maybe we get there. So tell your whiskey folks, tell your whiskey friends to go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll talk about some of those victories a little later on too. Um, and just want to go back in and see. I got a couple more folks in here. Hey, Martin, great to see them. No, I'm not going to drink them all. because I would be more than adorable halfway through this. So we're just gonna we're just gonna go with that. More than my normal adorable self. Let's just put it that way. And hey, Mark G, JG, super excited about seeing. I get to see this guy in a couple weeks. Yay! And Jennifer, girl, she just you got some really good friends when they call and text you from the liquor store saying, "Hey, we got some of that Ardnamurkin over here. You want some?" Yeah, I'm so stoked that she got that bottle for me. Don't even care when I get it. I'll see you in 4 weeks. But yeah, be kind of crazy to haul it all the way to Seattle to haul it all the way back. But you never know, might do it. Hey Michael, great to see you there. Oop, what happened? There he is. You don't do heat. You like the cold weather. Well, you would like South Louisiana tonight, and this weekend. I think they said today that Christmas may be the coldest Christmas we've had in 30 years. So that kind of gives you an idea of the magnitude. It's not that we're just crying because it's going to be below freezing, but it's definitely going to be cold. Oh, molasses. Positively Baltic. Oh, that's such a great saying that I hear all the time over there in Missouri. -6, 50 miles per hour winds. Yikes. Yeah. Stay bundled up in a little cast strength, and that'll fortify you, friend. Gee whiz. No, seriously, that's some dangerous. Lots of the country is getting into some dangerous weather for sure. Hey Enrique, good to see you, friend. Serendipity and all that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy tonight. Lots of fun. Um, so goodness, got all kinds of folks in here. Hey John, good to see you too. So tell me what I'm going to start on a couple of drams here and then talk about how the channel's gone this year. Um, but really, this list that I have isn't not necessarily a top, a top whiskeys of the year, and there's no set order to this. You see a theme here. I just kind of like roll into this. This whiskey is not pretentious. I'm not gonna, it's just what it is. So not all of these whiskeys even came out this year. They came to me, serendipity. They came into my path this year. So that's why they're on this list. And these are just some of the drams that made me go, wow. And I think that's really the criteria, and how I kind of had to cut it down to at least, like, I was at first it was going 5. I'm like, well, I can't leave that one out. I can't leave that one out. There are more than 7, but that made me go, wow, this year. But these are the ones that I wanted to kind of to chat about, see if you've had, and then, find out too what your wow whiskeys were this year. There's some. I had an Ardnamurkin. A buddy Nate had one at Louisiana Bourbon Festival. I can't even tell you which one it was. It was a wow. Absolutely loved it. One of the reasons Jennifer bought that bottle for me today. But I couldn't tell you what it was. I don't remember which one it was. But it was good. So there are lots of wows. But so I'll go into the first wow. I feel like I'm leaving folks out though. I want to see who else is up in here. And we got Michael, and oh my goodness. Y'all are just, I love it. Just talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. I'm having trouble. So this is Barton says this has been his year of discovering that you like Scotch more than bourbon. It's okay. You can like Scotch more than bourbon. It's okay. I'm actually learning to like some bourbons. So we have a little playoff there. Sunny to it, but you're exploring crazy. Favorites are Talisker, Springbank, and Ardbeg. Okay. You like the smoke, you like some peat and a little salinity. Oh, yeah. Those are fabulous drams. If you like them, they're the best drams. Okay. What some person may like that you don't particularly care for, that's okay, because your palate is your palate. And that's anybody who's coming into Scotch or even had the bad relationship with a Scotch, the wrong Scotch first, you know, it's important for you to determine and really get an idea what you like as opposed to what other people tell you. Um, that's why you always hear me say, for me, for me, for me, this tastes like such and such, because everybody tastes differently. I get a soapbox. I can't help it. um, let's see. Hey, Chuck. Good to see you. Stay warm as well. Um, so Michael saying, how do you subscribe? Hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button on the video, but on the actual channel, you can click subscribe and make sure, and you can hit the little bell, and that will actually ping you and say, Lee's about to go on live. Anytime I release a new video or we're about to go live. So yeah, subscribe is from the home page of on YouTube for sure. That's how you get there. It's interesting too. Let me see. So troopers had to deal with loss of taste for a long time, thanks to the last 2 years episode. So he's been able to taste the funk and the kill Karen after 16 months of long haul taste loss of taste and smell. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. I'm so exciting. Yes, I kept those bottles for 2 years. You couldn't have tasted them anyway and now you can. I'm so delighted for you, friend. That is almost a Christmas miracle in and of itself. And Reiki's saying he's trying Macallan 18, the 2 ounce, with a 1/4 ounce of Lagavulin 16, his favorite blend. This guy is taking all of his non-peated expressions and adding. Sounds like, well, he is an engineer, and then adding a 1/4 ounce of a peated whiskey to play with his whiskey. No one says you can't play with your whiskey. That's a fabulous idea. So, that's been your favorite so far. A Mac 18 and a 1/4 ounce of Lag 16. Love it. Oh my gosh, love it. Uh, uh, uh. Um, so if you're on your phone watching, tap Scotch on the Bayou channel name, and it should come up with the option to subscribe. Daniel, love you. Thank you for it. I don't even think I knew that. So, my wow was Octomore 13.2. That is a lovely wow. And Kevin, thanks. I'm so glad you're here because my first wow is thanks to you. So my first wow is this lovely bottle that guy, Kevin, gifted me at a bottle share. And it is a Glenburgie 21. And this is a Gordon and MacPhail independent bottling of this lovely Speyside. And I had never had it. And quite frankly, I'd never heard of Glenburgie. And it is wow. And it's a wow in a glass. It is just a beautiful color. It's 43, but it probably drinks like a 48. And at 21 years old, it's not young spirit. So that's telling me that was probably some really potent European casks that were used in this. And the nose is it's deep fruits, a little malt on it, just a hint of cinnamon on the nose. And it's very crisp and clean. There's no heaviness that you might think from a sherried Speyside. It's certainly not a sherry bomb as you would think. But it's just very delightful. There's hints of honey on the back end, a little lemon. So it's somewhat atypical of a Speyside, but still quite complex. And Kevin was so gracious to have this bottle and let me take it and a couple more home. I hope you're enjoying the Klein Leash. Hopefully it's gone by now. But this was definitely a wow, and it got me thinking more about independent bottlers and what they have to offer. And I'm never going to see a Glenbergie distillery bottle on the shelf in Louisiana. I don't even know that they do that. I need to go back and do some more research, but I think they're actually part of another conglomerate that feeds maybe, I don't know, Chevis or um, whoever. I don't even know who they're owned by, but they're probably a feeder distillery. So an independent bottling is the only way you're going to get some of these distilleries. And this one is just so, so tasty. Have any of y'all had the Glenbergie? Truly never have seen it before. Um, Michael says, okay, 77-year-old McAllen on a Google article. I think it was $87,000. I'm thinking that had a little wood to it. I don't know that I would do that. Mm, mm. Um, Goodness gracious. Shout out to Michael Myers on SNL and Mike Myers. Hey. Let's see us. Hey, Chad's here. Chad's here. And I get to see Chad in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about that. Thanks for coming in. I know everybody's so busy. So busy. So Malt Minion was very impressed with Gil Karen 16 this year. Interesting. I've heard all kinds about it. Our mutual buddy Zach has raved and raved. But I haven't had that one yet. So that's interesting. Kilcairn's just solid, right? I mean, all those, I'm loving the 8s, the sherry ones, and really their 12 bourbon is just money. It's so good. Hey, Francis from Chicago. Awesome. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I love your town. Absolutely adore that town. Used to go there on business every 6 months and learned my bus routes. I had friends that lived at Lake Point Tower by Navy Pier, and I would catch the 65 Grand. And I had people asking me for directions. And as soon as I opened my mouth, they knew real quick that I did not live in Chicago, but I still told them where to go find a good dinner and how to get around town. So thank you, Francis, for being here tonight. That's awesome. Yay. Yeah, and Trooper, we are so excited. Oh dear, we got some there folks that need to go away. Mark is out on a meeting tonight. So if Mark JG, if you can take care of a few admin things, I'd appreciate it. Some pleasant surprises for me. Ala Race, I keep saying it wrong. Compass Box Orchard House, Hazelburn 10, and so many. Yes, there's so many. Goodness. Jennifer went to Specs today, which, if you don't know, is a local owned Texas liquor store that is like Disneyland. And the newest black art was out at $670. Well, I hope they enjoy that. Goodness gracious. That's crazy. Yeah. And you only bought 3, right? Oh my word. Yeah, so the Glenbergie was really interesting. Again, thinking about those independent bottlers is interesting. So Mo says his Wow Whiskey was the Adelphi bottle of 5-year-old Ben Nevis matured in Oloroso casks. It's Ben Nevis concentrate, so rich. Oh wow. So again, Adelphi independent bottling, goes and can maybe grab a cask that is just going to be maybe a one-off for that distillery, and they aren't going to use it in maybe some of their core range type of things. What do they do with it? So they'll sell it off. Very, very interesting. I can even almost think about what the color of that would be behind that Adelphi label. I bet that was gorgeous. Yeah, so North Carolina, and that is a struggle, right? I mean, there's so many states, because we're all segmented, and the states have the overruling law on how things are distributed and sold. It's really hard. I'm thrilled that you can actually get SMWS sent to you. So that's fantastic. And I don't know how long you've been a member. If anyone saw, I I was on their channel this year for their Malt Madness YouTube challenge, and there were 8 YouTube channels. I was one of the 8, and I got it to the second round, and then Jason C from the Mash and Drum beat me out just a little bit. What's super is that he and I were completely aligned on the last of 4 drams. I mean, he got the year right. I got the ABV right. Otherwise, we had everything. Boom, 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 boom. And he ended up winning the whole shebang. So the dear heart that he is, because he won $1,000 gift certificate to SMWS, which, wow, talk about having fun shopping. And the sweetheart actually bought me a bottle of SMWS that's en route as we speak. And he's just, y'all, he's just the best. He is just so the best. So let me see. I stopped. Stand up drams were all spring banks. That doesn't surprise me at all, Daniel. That does not surprise me at all. Goodness. Martin says, my year is very big Scotch year. Trip to Scotland for 2 weeks in May. Oh my word. Opened up a whole new world. And the classic OB offerings that we see in the US. Yeah. And you got to go to the Bastards Ball, and we finally got to meet. There's so many fun things that happened this year. So my second wow is one of my Camp Dram reviews. And this one is Glenallachie 15 is Oloroso and PX. It's Billy Walker's blend, not his distillate, but his blend. So it's putting together with what he had to work with. And what is surprising to me about this one, I mean, the nose, there were the sherry tannins, cooked figs, burnt sugar, all those kind of really sherry bomb-ish things. But it didn't, the taste did not go to a T. It wasn't as sweet as the nose was on the palate. It was much lighter. It wasn't too heavy, but you still had rich fruits. It was a cleaner taste and had a nice cinnamon spice on the finish. And I'd not had a whole lot of Glenalleckies. Actually, I had to get this at Specs over. Actually, I think I may have gotten this one here at Hocus Pocus or at Specs. I'm not quite sure, but they're new to the market for sure where I live. And I like this because it was a little different than your sweeter sherry bombs. Much less sweet on as compared to a Tamdu or the Glendronach 12 or 15. I think I probably prefer Glendronach 15 over this, but this one was really interesting to me, and I like that one a lot. So I cannot wait to see what that man is going to do. What he will do when he gets his spirit in the casks he wants them in, and they can get their cooking time done. And as soon as that's in a bottle, we all going to be lined up for that. It's going to be like the Mardi Gras. We all going to be going, throw me something, mister. Give me some of that. Give me some of that Glenallachie. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And they're on my list to go visit next year. So hoping that all works out. So. Okay, it's almost half hour, and I've only hit 2 out of 7. But I really am enjoying everybody's comments tonight. We've got over 20 on, and everybody's had some really cool things. Let's see. From one of your previous videos, I love the idea of blending the single malts, and found that your personal taste was Speyside and Isla at an 8-to-1 ratio. How cool is that? So Enrique again is playing with his whiskey but he's getting it the way he wants to, you know? Um, awesome. I knew you would know this, Andrew. So Glenbergie is one of the main malts for Valentine's. So there you go. Yeah, just really good stuff. The Malt Madness was so much fun. Yes, and that's how I found Barter. That's it. It is. So I appreciate you being here, Barter, and giving this Southern girl a chance. I like my whiskey, and I like to have fun with all my friends for doing that. So John's had the Glenallachie 15. That was a nice Christmas present for sure. Okay, peanut oil card. See, I know this. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate it. I love it when everybody knows these things. Okay, Kevin, I missed what the other 21 that you were talking about that you're going to pull our sample because the answer is yes, friend. I always want a sample. You bet. The Glenallachie right now, the Specs and Douse is getting a good stock. Yeah, and they have some like picks too. I want to say, but that's really good. So number three, 1, 2, 3, isn't a Scotch. Plot twist. My third, again, no in particular order. I'm actually doing them for palate is the order that I'm doing them. So that might tell you something. So look at this color. Would you look at that color? I mean, how gorgeous is that? But it is not a Scotch. But it did have a second maturation or finishing. So September was an epic whiskey month. I mean, the whole month was epic. First was the Bastards Ball over in Austin. Got to see a bunch of my folks over there. Jennifer, Mark JG, Martin, Roy, all kinds of peoples. And from there, came home, went to Lieber's Fork up in Nashville. Then we met the Dummies up at Starlight. OMG, yes, Starlight. Particularly a bourbon finished in a white port barrels. Y'all, this is good. And bourbon's not my thing, but I'm learning. Because just as some people may have had the wrong Scotch on their first, I probably had the wrong bourbon on my first try. So it kind of like wrote it off. This is absolutely delightful. You smell corn. Yes, there's corn. But this port, which, full disclosure, I've been on a port kick this year. I've got a tawny port. There's a Glenallachie port. That Kilholman port that Mark JG was in studio, and we finally killed that. Actually, I have much that left. I like the idea of that very rich dessert wine coming and layering over the malt. So when you think about that really rich port, when we tried this, when we all went up to Huber Farms and went to the tasting room, we were all tasting different things. Like, what are you going to taste? And I mean, it was ridiculously well priced at, I think, I can't remember how much it was. You got to taste like 6 different things. And so we were all mixing and matching between 3 of the 4 dummies, me and my Mark. And I was like, is that port going to be so much sweeter over the bourbon? Because the bourbon's going to be sweet anyway. And this is very balanced. I was quite surprised at that. I was expecting just pure sugar, and it's really not that at all. You get that bourbon back end taste. Bourbon has always tasted like corn syrup to me, like Karo syrup that I'm going to use in my pecan pie for Christmas. Okay. Like corn pops, those big chunky yellow cereal corn pops. that is what bourbon has always tasted. This is mitigated by the wininess of that extra finishing. It's pretty warm. Now I'm gonna have to get my glasses because I can't see this at all. So yeah, it's 55%, so 110. And it doesn't taste like it doesn't drink like that. It drinks like a 48 maybe. Real nice fruity nose, not too corny on the nose. So this was a wow. Okay, this is bourbon that I really like. I ended up getting the PX rye. I think it was if I'm flitting through here and looking at some, was it Martin that said that? Where to go? I'll get there in a minute. Kevin, I thought it was Martin. Somebody said that they had the PX. But yeah, so I got the rye with the PX finish, and I love it. I love how that juxtaposition of the sweet PX on the spicy rye. I love that. So very tasty. Tried. Where am I? I'm lost on the comments. I swear, y'all are just chatting away, and I love it. Let's see. So Daniel's number one is a 22-year-old sherried Hazelburn breakfast dram in the washback bar. Yeah, you were there when you drank that, weren't you, dear? Number two is a 32-year-old Springbank and 27, both in the casks in the Dunnage warehouse. So Campbelltown is also on my list. And y'all, I don't know. If only we could do time travel and I could just like hop around Scotland. That would be really cool. So this guy, Chad, Jennifer and I are going up for the Victoria Whiskey Festival. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, the Kensington Market single cask. Wow. I'm so excited. I'm excited about having the different whiskeys that we're going to encounter in Victoria, but I'm even more excited to see Chad and my friend Terry. It's going to be awesome. There's the comment I was looking for. Thank you very much. Yes, Martin had the PX finished bourbon, the Starlight. Starlight's just really coming up. We've got a great little store over in Mississippi, in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Maziano's, and that guy's got a palate for days, and he does quite a few of the barrel picks. My buddy Michael Porter, Sunday Evening Scotch, did a pick that was in a finished in a Scotch barrel, a Scotch peat barrel, I'm pretty sure. So that is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. Yes, I plan to bring an Andalusia, and I'm going to bring a Still Austin as well. Up there, things that y'all can't get, because Still Austin, as far as I know, just still only sells in Texas and Louisiana. So yeah, really excited. Hey, Jimmy, good to see you. Talk about Springbanks. Thanks for being here, friend. I hope you enjoy the evening. We are talking about some of the drams that we went wow about this year, and I've gone through my three: Glenbergie, Gordon MacPhail, Glenallachie 15, and I just finished with the Starlight bourbon in a white port cask, which is this one. Goodness gracious, that's so good. I'm gonna have to pour this one. Pardon me as I drink this to pour the next one. Goodness, let's see who else. So Kevin says You have to fight Leanne over it. It's the last pour. Oh my goodness, friend. Yeah, and I lived closer to him. Sorry, Loch. I know where he lives. Oh goodness. Mm, mm, mm. Looking at all these fun. Oh, so you do have still Austin and Alberta? You have the cast strength. Okay, well that's good to know. Yeah, I wasn't sure that it was going to get up there. Did you get any of Roy's Loch Lomond? I absolutely did at the Bastard's Ball. I have a bottle. I haven't opened it yet. When we were in that epic September whiskey month, we went to the Bastard's Ball, and Roy, of course, got to come over. Aquavitae, for those who don't know who Roy is, and he shared his bottle then with us. And I immediately ran over and made Jennifer taste it because Jennifer is the wine guru. I mean, she knows her wines so very well, and her palate is just terribly on point. It's embarrassing how good her palate is. And it is, I loved it. It's very odd. It's very different. And it was almost fizzy. Definitely was a wow. And I'm probably, thanks for bringing it up because it really should have been on this list. It was a wow because it's not, and I told Roy this, it was not an easy dram for him to choose for his bottling, for his pick. It wasn't, oh, this lovely Speyside, sherry bomb, or this nice clean cut bourbon matured, straight off Highland, or a funky Campbelltown. It was effervescent. It had a little bit of a funk to it, but I think he chose it because it wasn't easy and it challenged all of our palates. I'm anxious to see what that bottle's going to do as it goes down. I have to open it first, of course. But we killed that bottle. I killed it. And my maiden name is Kill It, like kill it. And I killed that bottle that night. There's photographic proof that we killed the bottle that night. But yeah, that was, have you had it, Jimmy? Tell me what you thought about it. So Loch Ness says, there are too many wild drams. I know. And it is moderation, right? It's easy to kind of overindulge sometimes, and especially overindulge in bottles when you go, oh my gosh, I got to get that one. I got to get that one. And it's tough. There's only a couple I have on my chase list. I got 2 of them this year, or actually 1 of them. And Santa Claus is going to wrap them up and put them under the tree. But they're right there. Yeah, that's a couple for sure. So Enrique, again, he's an engineer, folks. Did equal parts of Lowlands, Campbelltown, Orkney Islands, Isla, Speyside, and the blend was amazing. Golly, were they all cast strength or just whatever ones you had, Enrique? That just sounds so interesting. Yes, Jennifer. So Jennifer, the reason I made Jennifer go do this is because she was wine. So taste this Loch Lomond that Roy has picked. And I was like, tell me what you think. And she started talking about how it was like a Portugal wine. Is that, help me out, Jennifer? You know your things. I said, don't. But she was like, oh my gosh, it reminds me of this and this and this. And it's kind of bubbly. And I'm like, what? Like, tell me. And she goes, well, it's kind of like a Chardonnay. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The reason for that outburst is that Loch Lomond, along with the Loch Lomond 2020, the open, that version, uses Chardonnay yeast instead of distiller's yeast. So it's some different organisms that are in there and doing their thing. And I swear because of that fermentation with that different type of strain of yeast, it's almost as if it were effervescent. The only other dram I've ever had, ironically, with Roy, was an Annock 16. And it was almost fizzy, not like Pop Rocks, But you know what I'm talking about? Where it just kind of has like a little hydrogen peroxide kind of fizz to it. It was ever so light, but it was there. So very interesting. Definitely a wow dram. Definitely. So excited. Okay, so on to number 4. I can tell you already, folks, we going over tonight. I hope y'all ain't got anything to do. I hadn't even started on my Christmas cooking. I hadn't started wrapping nothing. I got like 3 more gifts I got to go buy tomorrow. And then we'll be done. And we're going to call it. And this is going to be as good as it can be. So, 4th dram. This one, if you recall, our friend, and I know the reason he's not on because he's sleeping, because he's actually probably still in Edinburgh. Gregor, time for a dram, was going and planning his trip to Scotland. And he built a blind for me based on his planned trip. And he sent 5 drams over. And this was number 4. And if you have not watched that video, I'd say go find that video. It's like April, I think, something. It is an absolute riot. We had the best time. And number 4 was just totally blew me away. It's probably one of my wows of the year. And I literally had, can you see, only that much left in this wee little bottle. That's all I have left because I knew I did not want to drink it all at one time because I'll never get this again unless I can find a bottle on secondary. Oh, the funk is still there, y'all. This thing threw me. I was sure this was Campbelltown. I was like, I know this is a Campbelltown. It's just so interesting. It was so different than anything I'd ever had. It's malty. It's got, like I said, it's got this twang and this funk to it, almost a sourness to it, but not off-putting. And I couldn't believe when I finally found out this is the inaugural release of the Isle of Rasse, whatever. Alistair Day, who was with Jennifer and I at the Whiskey Academy in Isla, we met him there. You know, he just started a brand new distillery. It was like, oh wow. He showed us the bottle. It's gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. And this was dram number 4 in Gregor's blind, and I absolutely fell in love. Oh my heavens. There's probably not even 2 whole swallows of this left. Oh, and it's so delightful. It is matured in Tennessee whiskey, fresh first fill Tennessee whiskey barrels, and then finished in French oak red wine, and it's peated. Peated red wine whiskey. I mean, Tennessee whiskey. So you're getting the peat's very light on the nose, but quite understandable on the palate. You get the winey notes on the nose. I think that's where some of the funk comes into it. It's definitely, you know, it's malt, but you get that syrupy Tennessee whiskey bourbonish flavor off of it too. And it's just, oh my heavens. So let me know if y'all have had Isle of Rasse and that inaugural. It's very, very interesting. Glenvibus, even better. So one of the best news is, and it was interesting when they announced it, Alistair actually tagged me on Instagram. Louisiana is now going to get Isle of Rasse. So I am so stoked. I've already called Martin's. I've already called my buddy Nate and said, hey, call your friend up and find out when we get in those bottles. Not only is Alistair an absolute delight, he's such a good people. He's such good people. Such good people. That is my number 1 destination in Scotland to go to next summer. And he's also, in his group, are also building a new distillery in Campbelltown. So how about that? I'm so stoked. And thank you, Gregor, for sharing that. Because my goodness, that was a hell of a dram. I was so wow, it was a hell of a dram. Let me rinse this out a little bit. Let me go back. Let me see. Oh my goodness, I love how everybody's just chatting and talking and all this kind of fun stuff. So, um, oh yeah. So I love how nerdy are we when we start talking about the fermentation times, the Vino Verde. That means green wine, right? Um, Yum. So awesome. Peter Lee sent you Roy's Loch Lomond, I believe that. Berry lemon in a pencil box. Did have some like pencil shaving kind of things going on. Rhubarb, pink grapefruit, squashed in my elementary school dictionary. Kind of dusty. Yeah. Like I said, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, but well accepted, you know. And I think Roy does try to push us to think beyond, you know, the regular offerings and kind of get us out there. So, kudos to him. I thought it was a great bottle to try out with. I really, really did. This community is so special. Everyone here adds so much. I love it, right? It's so giving, you know, it's so wonderful. That's like this Glenbergie that Kevin gave me. I mean, when you go to a bottle share, when you see people, when I see Jennifer and Chad up in Victoria, the whiskey's going to taste even better because we're all there together and enjoying that for sure. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Jimmy's got, yeah, just some really cool stuff. So Daniel's had two of Rosé. Yeah, for a brand new distillery, they're doing some really cool stuff. And then the French oak Bordeaux. I like a red wine finish. That Deanston, was it the Deanston 2008 red Bordeaux? Golly, that was a good one. You know, Kevin, that number 4, the inaugural release is out there somewhere. You can be hard pressed. You could probably find it. And I'm definitely going to be searching for it when I'm over in Scotland again too. But I'm sure they're out there for sure. Hey, friend. Hey, Chris. Everyone's in the house, y'all. It's all smooth sailing now. Let's see. You got a wee pour of the 3.5 Ardnahoe, not yet released. To see, when we were there, they were just putting spirit in casks. Definitely looking Fraser, see what he's going to be coming up with. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I hear you, Jimmy. Roy has a way. He's the Pied Piper of Scotch whiskey. He is definitely that. So, number 5, and it's already been talked about tonight in the comments. I'm so impressed. Number 5 is a very lovely dram and totally unexpected for the price point because I had a preconceived idea that got shut to hell in the handbasket. And that is the Compass Box Orchard House. And Chad was talking about that. And the label, of course, you know, Stranger and Stranger does all their packaging and marketing, and the label is dead on. I mean, it is fresh fruit, just very lovely, super price. It's NAS, but a lovely, lovely dram. 46%, of course. And well, I think this is my second. This was actually the bottle. I used this in my Scotch 101 presentation as one of the offerings for the Louisiana Bourbon Festival when I went and converted people to the land of Scotch. Just love it. Really love it. Zach Andrews is one that got me on to this and gave it a try. I think it's like $50, maybe 40, 45, $50. And just very easy to drink. fresh fruit with a hint of peat and smoke. I mean, there's like 2% Kalila in it, I think. It's one of the reasons I absolutely adore most all of the Compass boxes. You can go on site, you can download the PDF and down to the micro ounce, they will tell you what is in it. And I love that. I love that transparency about it. And it's very available. You can pretty much get it anywhere that's going to have Compass box right now. You're going to be able to get that dram for sure. Mm. So, any other Compass box orchard house fans out there? So you haven't had Compass box there, but I'll buy it every time I travel. Yeah. Oh, and really that traveling, those bottles, if you get good, if you get good and learn, okay, I gotta have a hard side suitcase. I've got some of those bubble bladder kind of puffed up bottle holders, and then Dollar Tree has like a 5-pack of 2-gallon Ziploc bags, and then I put everything in a Ziploc bag in case the horrible happens, and everything is at least contained the best it can be in your suitcase. But I've also been known to buy suitcases when I was not prepared, and also donate clothes when I knew I could not pack it all back home because whiskey is more important than old clothes. Oh, goodness. Mm. So good. Very approachable, that Orchard House. Really love it. Where did Mo's go? There we go. Mo's talking about the new summertime post lawn mowing dram. what a great expression. And it doesn't cost so much that if you wanted to make a highball because it was really, really hot, you could do that, and it would have a really good fresh taste for sure. Goodness gracious. You bring an empty wine suitcase when you travel, it comes back full. That's smart. That's smart. I have if I'm in town, Jennifer bequeathed me one of her bottle bags, rolling cart with that you sit 4 bags in, not to ship for sure. But yeah, shipping. I came back from Scotland the last time, I think, with 5 bottles and 8 glasses, no breakage. So hopefully I've got it all together there. Andrew's talking about he likes Orchard House, but prefer the story, the Spaniard Oak Cross and the double single 3rd edition. Double single. I don't think I've seen that one or actually heard of that one, Andrew. Very interesting. Now, the story of the Spaniard and Oak Cross, which I have for sure. I have the Asila over there that I'm rationing. It's just so very tasty. Oh goodness, you drove all the way from North Carolina to Chicago. You see that, Francis? To get to Benny's. Benny's is to Chicago as Specs is to Texas. Instead of flying to get a few bottles. Yeah, I went bright like crazy. That's what you call a Southern girl going to big city and going, oh my God, Benny's. Yes, please. Oh, me. So if you haven't figured it out, Kevin has some really cool bottles. And he's an absolute doll for sharing, that's for sure. Yeah, so Compass Box No Name, that came out. Yep. Number 3. That one's tasty in itself. So you're a fan of Compass Box too. So yeah. All of Compass, you just say my favorite category is Compass Box and just kind of go with that. Bought home 31 bottles. Dude, I think you beat me. You beat me going to Texas because there have been times I was like, well, I'll just pretend that I'm Burt Reynolds and that this is a Camaro or a Trans Am. Actually, it was Trans Am, wasn't it? And I'm eastbound and down on I-10. I'm not hauling Coors beer by any stretch of the imagination, but there's 2 cases of Scotch in the back of my Toyota RAV4. Yeah, that happens. That happens. And you have to. It's not that you don't want to support local places, because I absolutely do. But when their hands are tied as to what they can get in, you got to go. You got to seek out, right? So that brings us up to number 6. So all y'all see my friend up here, Jennifer. So Jennifer and I, Jennifer came over. She's in Houston, and she came over, and we had a girls' weekend at the swamp in January. And if you have not checked it out, you absolutely must. Not only is it great information about Ardbeg committee releases, but actually we're adorable, and we did a 45-minute epic video on Ardbeg committee releases, along with the 20-something, the 22-year-old, which is my 6th dram, is the 22. This is what I have left of it. She was generous enough to leave me a little bit more. Been doling it out in small pieces. But that's not something that I'm going to get every day, you know. Part of it tastes really good. But the other part was, I'm sitting with my bestie having this dram, and we're talking about the time we were at Ardbeg and just really enjoying it. And I think that's a big part of what makes whiskey wow, is your environment, or how you came upon that bottle or that dram. And to be able to go through those, we went through Scorch, Ardbeg, Ardbog, Black, and 20-something, and help me out. I think, was it the Trevan? I think that was the other one, the 19. I think that was one as well. So Jennifer is an Ardbeg fangirl, and that was one of my favorite videos. It took forever to kind of get it together, because we had like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours of video that we had to swoosh it down. But it's got great timestamps. So if you're interested in any one particular of those bottlings, you can go straight to that one. But yeah, check that video out. It's a lot of fun. And we wax poetically about all things Ardbeg. Lots and lots of fun. It was good. You read about the legal limits of online and realized that you were a smuggler. You know, happens to the best of us. I come from a long line of bootleggers in West Tennessee. You just come by it honestly. You gotta do what you gotta do, folk. Within within truly laws. Yes, we enable each other. Molasses. I'm a bad influence on her. It's like, hey, want to go to Victoria? Hey, let's go do this. We get in all kinds of trouble, but nobody has had to call for bail money yet. So just saying, no international incidences, and nobody's had to bail us out of jail. So I think we're coming out ahead. Just saying, you know. You have about as many errands as compass boxes, and more Lefroy's and Wolfburns. Oh me, I do love me some Aaron, that's for sure. Okay, so let's go. So during that same visit, and this is my last wild dram, and it had a lot to do with the fact that Jennifer was there too. But she came in after work, and it was late, and I have to pour this one. One moment, please. It was late when she got in, just after 11, and had a little bit to eat, and we worked through some drams, you know, kind of worked our way. And that was in January. And the November for that, we had gone up to Indiana to the Scotch 4 Dummies 6th anniversary, because nobody was doing anything during their 5th year on account of the COVID. And there's a lovely store up there called Story Company, and I picked up this bottle, and it was our last dram of the evening. Oh my goodness. And it was about 1:30 a.m. Mark was at the camp. He was getting everything ready for us the next day. And it's just me and Jennifer sitting in the living room with 3 dogs all splayed out. And I poured this. This is a Black Adder raw cask, 1998. It's a 15-year-old leche. So this absolutely is 124.4 proof. So doing the math, 62.2 and leche from peated Tobermory. I love the raw cask. I don't know if you can really get in there because it's got like all the gradu floating. I mean, literally. I mean, there's like bits of charcoal. Like just gradu is like the Cajun slang term for like not scum, but just the gradu, the things that are just kind of like built for pieces and parts. And oh my heavens, it is so good. And Jennifer, you know where I'm going with this, right? So we were sitting there, and I think this was our what, fourth or fifth dram that night? No, that we're counting, you know. But it was so good. I mean, you get so much malt straight off the nose and kind of this lemon thing going in this underlying peat. And the peat is not very marine, although it's, you know, on an island. It's not a seaweed or a real oily, dense peat. No Band-Aid, no medicinal anything on it. And it just was so good. And you kind of you get a lot of sweetness, a lot of more of a fresher fruit on the sweetness of the tongue, but then it it has a warmingness. It does not drink 62.2. It does not drink. It drinks like a 50 maybe. So this is a dangerous dram in and of itself there. But you following that sweetness is a little warmth, not really even heat, but warmth in this ashy campfire smoke. So peated wise, it's not intense. And so I was like, okay, that's it. What we have to do, wait, we have to have something with this. I had made bacon that day. So shout out to the Whiskey Crusaders because they are the antithesis of bacon and whiskey. I made bacon today. Bacon and this leche is the biggest wow I can even tell you. It is. There's something about the smoky bacon. We get our bacon from a butcher here in Louisiana, down at the farmers market, and it's tick bacon, chef. It's like it's bacon with integrity. It stands on its own. There's no floppy bacon here. Um, and the bacon, and then I have to have a bite. The bacon and this leche is just the bomb. Mm, 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 mm. Sweet, smoky, the salt and the oil. And actually the bacon was cold and had like this, this could go gross real quick, but it had like, it's got that little sheen of grease on it with the smoke and the sweet of the whiskey. And it just was like, I'm having a moment again, all over again. Can I like back me up, Jennifer? Yeah, she's not telling y'all that I ate bacon with it. Yeah, you did. It was so good. Thanks for being here, Loch Ness. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, friend. I really do appreciate you being here and all the support. I really, really do. Yeah. Yeah, we got some interlopers tonight. Pay no attention to them. They're gonna put the gris on them. But that leche is just so it's very balanced. The sweetness, the heat along with the smoke is just all in check. None of those overpower the other. And again, with the salty, greasy bacon, it's just like smoked bacon. It's just perfect. Um, so very good. Um, I got you a sample. I got you, bud. No problem. We got plenties. I haven't killed anywhere close to killing this one for sure. Um, but yeah, it was amazing. Truly magical pairing, right up there with that Kilhoman port cask and a strawberry cake. I know y'all heard me and Mark JG talk about that. But yeah, Nanny's and bacon for sure. But yeah, so those are my seven drams. And and again, these are just the ones that kind of came to mind in retrospective of the year. But not in any particular order. They were in order tonight because I wanted the Pete's at the end. But it was a great whiskey year. It was a great year, and it was a great year for the channel. You know, in April, we made a year, and then we started the live show on Mardi Gras Day in March. And then we hit 1,000 subscribers, and then we hit our 4,000 watch hours. So we became monetized. And we got these great group of people that are supporting the channel as members called the Camp Drammers. So if you want to help support the channel, you can be a Camp Drammer too and join. Just go to the homepage of YouTube and there's a join button there, and you get some perks and little fun things here and there. You get to use the little emojis and that type of thing. And it is a way to help support the channel and things that we have to buy here. Got my day job. It's how I pay for whiskey. But it is definitely helping and supporting. You all coming and deciding to spend your Tuesday nights here is amazing. Hitting the like button, helping me out with the algorithm. I'll see a bump and I'll go, oh, people are starting to watch, and it's because you all are helping support so much. And I really do appreciate that. I'm super stoked for 2023. Big stuff is happening. It's going to be, I'm tired of sitting around and not doing anything over these last couple of years, and already things are picking up. So mark your calendar for January 8th. It's a Sunday afternoon for here in the States at 3:00 Central, 9:00 UK time. So Andrew, you'll be able to sleep. We are going to have a special show that afternoon because my guest will be Roy Duff from Aquavitae. And we have a special show that we're going to do. And as we're doing that, we're going to be doing a blind that Andrew Butler has sent us. And so that in and of itself is going to be enough fun. But my dear friend Roy, I just love him to death. And he's always been such a big supporter. And he's a person who wants everyone to have a place at the table, and he's just been very, very supportive of me. 4 weeks time from tomorrow, I will be heading to Victoria Whiskey Festival. And so I'm not quite sure we're going to do a show the Tuesday after because I'll be coming in. We'll have to kind of see. But I get to see Chad Anderson, and Jennifer and I will be there. And our friend Terry Lamb, who just arrived home after being in Scotland for like 3 months, I think. She will be there, and we're gonna go through some master classes and some tastings with some different distilleries. And I'm so excited about that. I plan to go out to Westland and to the Westland Distillery where they make American single malts and learn about that and meet those folks out there. So I'll be bringing all that back to the channel. And then we're planning the trip to Scotland in the May-June time period. And so I've been putting my feelers out to my folks over there, trying to say, hey, I know it's 6 months from now, but do you know if you're going to be in town? Because I'd really like to get to see you. So we're going to be doing a lot of that and making those plans, and just really excited. All of that to say, I wouldn't be doing any of that or most any of that if it weren't for you all that decide to come and join me on a Tuesday night or watch the videos that we have. I've got 2 Camp Drams coming out pretty soon. One of which features Mark from Scotch for Dummies, who was down here at the camp. All those types of things. The fact that you come in and you're so supportive and Jimmy leg, oh dear, love you. Thank you, friend. Your positivity. I'm glad you see that happiness. I try to smile. Some days it's not easy, but when you're here in our wonderful community, it's really hard not to. Um, Thank you for that. I appreciate the support so very much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2023. We're gonna take next Tuesday off, I think. Want to take a little downtime and spend it with family and go to the camp and kind of chill. Everybody's so busy. Take time for yourself and enjoy all of this. Want to say a big shout. Hey, friend, she working hard for the money and for her whiskey. I can promise you that. Um, Thanks, Kim, for being here. But yeah, it's 2023 is going to be great. We're all going to get to do a lot more than we've been able to do. We're going to all drink some really good whiskey and hopefully be in person with a lot of people that we haven't been able to see. Thank you very much. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's go see where we are. And we're 5 down, 5 from 1200. So yeah, if anybody send that out to your friends, we'll get to 1200 by Christmas. I'm sure Papa Noel will say, I guarantee you, Shea Leon, you will get your 1200. That's for sure. But thank you all for being here. Thanks for the support. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be safe, be sound, drink even better. And until next time, y'all, it's on to y'all.